Rondo, I saw happen.
Lopez, his father, maybe in their camp that they're kind of pushing this yes men sort of mentality. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Aphrodisiac back again on the mic with another video, and today we're going to talk about Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin, and more importantly, Lopez's comments after the fight. You know we don't like to waste time around here, so let's jump into it. Start off, Teofimo Lopez came into the fight really strong. You know, he was landing a lot of body shots and like being really aggressive. In order to counter this, Sandor Martin usually checked him with a lead counter right hook and or a double jab. And this was problematic for Teofimo Lopez, and you can see his face after the fight and everything, like it was super swollen, so it was working. In the second round, Sandor Martin lands a shot on Teofimo Lopez that evidently knocks him down. And that to me was a huge point in the fight, and anyone watching the fight would know that any knockdown is a huge turning point into the fight. So Teofimo Lopez was landing the more flashier shots, but he always had to earn it by getting through that counter right hook or the double jab. And more times than not during the fight, after Teofimo was landed like his flashy shot or his combo, Sandor Martin would follow that up with a pretty good combo of his own, which personally led me to believe that kept him ahead in the fight after his knockdown. Now, Lopez was being very aggressive. It was a tight fight. It's not like Lopez was looking bad or anything. But Sandor Martin, I personally believe that he came out with the win. And more importantly, there's another thing to mention too, that in the 8th round, I think it was the 8th or the 7th round, that Sandor Martin landed a punch that knocked down Teofimo Lopez again. And the ref just didn't count it. For what reason, I couldn't tell you. But if I'm a judge sitting there, I know you can't officially score that because it was not a legit knockdown. But in my head, I'm thinking, come on, that's a clean knockdown. Sandor Martin should have won that fight. Not even in a split decision at that point. It should have been majority at the very least. But Teofimo Lopez somehow managed to walk away with the decision. Now, with that being said, after the fight is when it gets interesting. After the fight, you see Teofimo Lopez just wearing defeat on his face. He won the fight. You know what I mean? He won the fight against a good boxer too in Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin is a top boxer. You know, most notably he beat Mikey Garcia. But Teofimo has won that fight, and he just wore defeat on his face. And I didn't understand that. I was watching it too, and then the camera zooms in, and it catches him saying, "Do I still got it? Do I still have it?" You know what? Just watch this.
Rondo, I saw happen. You do, man. Do I still got it? Yeah. Hey.
Look at his face, as you can see.
Do you see what I'm saying? What winner feels that way? Personally, I believe that Teofimo Lopez, his last couple fights have been rocky at best. More so that he was taking a lot of unnecessary punishment, and more than you would see in an elusive boxer. It's showing at the end of these fights. You can see it at the end of Kambosos. You can see it at the end of Lomachenko. You can see it at the end of Martin. A lot of these fights, he's taking a lot of unnecessary punishment. And now you could argue and say that it's boxing, you know, that it comes away with that and stuff like that. And it's including his style. But I would say that that is having an effect on his mentality going into these fights, because these fights are hard earned. He beat Lomachenko, but I would say Lomachenko rallied in the second half of the fight really, really well. You know, he made that fight pretty close towards the end. But with Kambosos, he lost the fight, and then he just beat Sandor Martin. They were all rocky fights. So now in his mind, he's sitting there thinking, do I still have it? Can I still do this? And you're wondering why? Because in the earlier parts of his career, he was mopping up the competition. Mopping them. I'm completely mopping them. Dude was doing backflips in the ring at the end of fights and shit. But he's starting to hit a wall once he starts to reach that level of competition around the world where people, they're not going to sit and take that shit. You know, a lot of people are taking, you know, the extra step in order to become what they want to become in this division. And now Teofimo Lopez has now finally hit that. And it all started with that fight in Lomachenko. I think it's really starting to weigh on him. Now, one thing I'd like to call out is usually when a boxer hits this wall, you need to make changes. I believe that Teofimo Lopez needs to change out his corner. And yes, that's including his father as well. It's easier said than done to kick out your father from your own camp, right? Yes, he's coming off of 2 wins, but again, they're really hard-earned fought wins, and Teofimo Lopez is taking a lot of unnecessary punishment. And if you're winning, you shouldn't be asking yourself after the fight if you still have it, if you still got it. That's a complete change from this guy. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a complete change. Something has to change with his regiment, and it has to be his corner. Now, you know that his father is if you're a boxing fan, you know that his father is very abrasive. You know, he's very loud spoken in his support with his son. Some might even call him arrogant. You know, I would say that there's something missing. There's something missing that's not pushing him to the level of championship mentality. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's really starting to weigh on this brother. And Teofimo Lopez is starting to struggle with the fact that he's not going through all this competition without having to struggle. You know, well, Teofimo, you're at the top of the list now, man. You're at the top of the list here, and everyone's gunning for you. You're gonna interact with people that have a lot more resolve, I suppose, you know, than the guys that you were mopping up in the earlier parts of your career. But with that being said, if you're gonna take that next step, you need people that's gonna help you get there. You know what I'm saying? And if you're hitting this wall now, I think he's like 16 fights in, 17 fights in, you need to make a change up. If you don't like what you see, if you're not feeling confident, you're coming off of 2 wins, and you're asking and questioning your ability in the ring, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense for anyone. If I'm coming off of 2 wins, I'm gonna feel real good about myself, real good. To get to the point here, Teofimo Lopez, his father, maybe in their camp that they're kind of pushing this yes men sort of mentality. I'm not in the camp, so I'm not gonna go and make any like brash assumptions and stuff like that. But usually that's how it works with these father-son combinations. You can see in this fight after George Kambosos that these were his comments. "Man, listen, you can't win a fight if you're not staying busy," said Lopez Sr. During an interview with Seconds Out, "My son was touching him every second. Everybody knows he won that fight. Everybody knows that. I had it 10-2, 9-3. Everybody was just upset. They booed the decision in the Madison Square Garden. The whole arena was upset at what happened. It was a complete robbery." If you ask me, I thought George Kambosos won that fight, and he won that fight clean, let alone 10-2 to 9-3. I think that's absolutely absurd. Though that is ridiculous scoring on Teofimo Lopez's father's part. And that's exactly what I'm talking about this type of yes men type of mentality, you know what I mean? Look at his face. That is not the look of a winner or a champion in my books. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you guys think, who won the fight, and what do you think Teofimo Lopez needs to do in order to move forward past this, because this was weird, man. This was really weird. I didn't like seeing that, you know, because he's a good boxer, and I like to see these good boxers come up. But that was weird, and I think he has all the pieces to become a much better boxer without those mental blocks. And I think it starts with his corner, man. He's got to find people that's gonna challenge him more. He's got to change something in his camp. He's got to change something. And that's all for today, but I've been your boy Aphrodisiac. Moving forward, we're going to be doing a lot of these types of videos and stuff. Click the subscribe button to like the video, support your boy, and I'm going to holler at you another day, another time. It's been your boy Aphrodisiac signing out. Till next time. Peace!